In the headlines, Northern elders deny endorsing Saraki Mohammed as the council defends position on consensus. Bandits abduct mother, daughter on humanitarian service, demand 100 million naira. Stomach infrastructure, the evolution of a political strategy. And on the foreign scene, Sudanese aid group says 168 killed, 98 others injured in violence in Sudan's Darfur. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I'm Darshan Hussaina Usman. Now the news in detail. Northern Elders Forum has distanced itself from reports that it has endorsed former Senate President Bukola Saraki and Bauchi State Governor Bala Mohammed as consensus presidential aspirants of the People's Democratic Party from the North. A statement by Dr. Hakim Baba Ahmed, NEF Director of Publicity and Advocacy, said the attempt to engineer a consensus among the aspirants was that of the aspirants themselves. He said Northern Elders Forum is not affiliated to any political party or aspirant and is strongly committed to the creation of a level playing field which will allow the best emergence of leaders in the 2023 elections. Meanwhile, leader of the Northern Elders Council, Paul Onogo, has defended the position of the region on Saraki and Bala Mohammed's presidential ambition. Onongo told newsmen on Sunday in Jos that Plateau State capital that the initiated idea of picking a consensus for the region. The announcement of Mohammed and Saraki as Northern Consensus presidential aspirants of the PDP by Professor Ango Abdullahi on Friday continues to generate reactions. Tambuwal has since dissociated himself from the outcome, declaring that the consensus plan had failed, while former Jigawa State Governor Sule Lamido described it as a ruse and unacceptable. Governor of Bauchi State Bala Mohammed says he does not believe in zoning ahead of the 2023 presidential elections, but rather believes that the focus should simply be to find a leader who is capable of leading Nigeria. Governor Bala made the comments during an interview on Channels TV Sunday Politics. He said himself and Saraki have been asked to decide on who will emerge as candidate to represent the region. While stating that he has the wealth of knowledge and experience to lead Nigeria, he said he will only step down for Saraki if he is convinced beyond reasonable doubt that he will do a better job come 2023. He explained that the only person who he will step down for is Goodluck Jonathan if he declares his interest to run for president. Residents of Adagba community in Yagba ward of Abaji area council fled their homes after bandits went on rampage, killing a 23-year-old Nura Megeta and stealing 36 motorcycles in the area. The bandits were said to have abducted 7 residents of the community that were identified as Aisha Lowell, Mustafa Lowell, Ali Pachi, Idris Bala and Jamilu Yahaya. Daily Trust reports that the attack is coming barely a week after the bandits invaded the community and abducted a provision seller, Chinedu Arinze, in which they carted away foodstuff and some provisions. Adagba community, which shares a boundary with neighboring Kapako in Niger State through River Gurara, is about 12 kilometers from Abaji Area Council headquarters of the FCT. The Madaki of Adagba, Adamu Wambai, who spoke with our reporters, said the entire community were terrified due to the sporadic gunshot by the bandits. He said some of his subjects were forced to scamper for safety, even as he said he managed to escape alongside his 2 children through the water or through the river Gurara. Still on security, bandits have abducted a mother, her daughter, and a commercial driver, conveying them to Kaduna after humanitarian service at Mariri community in Lere local government area of the state. Daily Trust gathered that engineer Ramatu Abashi and her daughter, who were traveling in a chartered vehicle, were said to have been kidnapped near Kasuan Magani. Sources from Mariri told our reporter that as part of a Barikindo Rahama initiative, the engineer who often distributes household items to the less privileged had arrived Mariri around 3 p.m. on Friday. It was gathered that she had distributed cloth and other basic items to orphans ahead of the Eid al-Fitr celebration. A family friend told our reporter that the bandits have made contact and demanded 100 million naira for the release of Engineer Ramatu and her daughter. A series of attacks in Nigerian communities, particularly in Imo and Kaduna states, is a source of great concern to citizens. People are particularly aggrieved by the viciousness with which innocent Nigerians are maimed and killed by criminal elements operating under different levels. In this report, Kehinde Amodu looks at the ongoing debate over who is responsible and what must be done to curb these vicious attacks. Let's take a look.
Southwest and North Central, they go under the amorphous title bandits, and since they have now been designated terrorists. In the Southeast, they are addressed by the even more ambiguous title unknown gunmen. In other parts of the country, they are either insurgents, kidnappers, or just plain criminals. But who are they and who sent them? Ever since government threatened to name their sponsors and failed to do so, some Nigerians have suggested that their sponsors may be in government circles. But Imo State Governor Hope Uzodinma, whose state is caught in the throes of constant conflict, thinks this is absurd.
How can anybody even think of a government sponsoring banditry in a country that they are in charge? If that is correct, assuming they're not conceding to you, how many states governed by opposition parties are under the kind of attack that we get from Kaduna every day, that we get from Imo State every day, that we get from Ebonyi State? So if we are the ones, why are we attacking our own states?
So what can be done to deplete the ranks of these threats to society? State governors believe state policing may be the way out. Others are not so sure.
Now a state governor will sit in their office with the state INEC commissioners and write the result and get it announced without any shame. They're not helping the democracy. So now everybody will be troubled if they show such kind of indiscipline and immaturity. What would they do with police power if it's in their hand?
Rather than state police, how about local government police?
If you go to Anambra State, for instance, we have 21 local governments, then each of them will have their own local government police. In America, we have city police. City, not even state. City police. We have county police. And then there are other smaller places. Even university has its own police.
The truth is, as long as insecurity pervades in the land, there will be no end to this kind of debate. Kehinde Amodu, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Stomach infrastructure now resonates more with Nigeria's pauperized electorates than physical dividends during general and off-season elections. In this report, Trust TV's Shafiu Suleiman examines the rise of a political strategy used by the elite to manipulate the electorate to vote in a certain direction.
It was first introduced into the Nigeria's political lexicon during the Ekiti state governorship election in 2014. Stomach infrastructure has, however, been deployed in different forms as far back as the 1980s, when President Ibrahim Babangida introduced the new breed into Nigeria's electoral space. Simply put, it is a campaign strategy deployed by politicians to induce the voting population to tilt towards a direction favoring a political candidate by exploiting their vulnerability to endemic poverty. At first, stomach infrastructure may sound funny. It has, however, proven to be an effective strategy over the years and has helped to secure many electoral mandates. A case in point was the Ekiti 2015 governorship election, where the Ayodele Fahishe defeated an incumbent governor, courtesy of stomach infrastructure in form of foodstuffs, live chickens, utilities, amongst others.
The stomach infrastructure is not just that people are demoralized, that people are wicked people. It's better that the elite politics is caused in a manner that people have lost control. There's no entry point for accountability, and therefore the people, just kind of leave it for God. Then just take what comes by you, and what comes to us is loaf of bread, a small sachet of the gari, and 2,000 to election. What can we do?
I think as a society, we've lost value. We've lost value totally, whereby today if you don't have money, you don't have a voice or you don't have a say.
While trillions of naira was expended by the current administration to close the huge physical infrastructure gap, it has been unable to halt the rise in poverty in the country. This has given room for the weaponization of poverty by the political class, giving rise to stomach infrastructure.
When voters are not being, like they did not get their commensurate amenities, life is hard for them. They are more likely to sell their votes. The issue of vote buying is a problem in Nigeria that it has stayed for so long, and we are working hard at stopping it.
And given the level of poverty that is so endemic, in this country, and the fact that the people are completely, disconnected from the entire governance system.
Voters now openly trade their franchise for a pot of porridge without regards to its long-term implication on good governance. The first thought of the electorate is to survive the excruciating hardship which has become the hallmark of the sixth largest oil-producing nation, considered the largest economy in Africa.
But did you have even But did you have because they asked me whether I will sell my vote. When I'm not selling, what am I doing? Sure, anybody I want to buy, please, I will sell. Why would you want to sell your vote? Because the vote is not counting.
If we vote with the no catch, it will go call, it will cut our neck.
In a scenario where you choose to sell your vote, how will you complain of the incoming government? Of course, it's unthinkable.
Awareness is a way to help stop vote buying. When people are aware of the fact that they have the right to vote, their vote is their power, maybe they will stop vote selling.
The exploitation of the stomach infrastructure fault line by desperate politicians may have come to stay if deliberate measures are not put in place to check the rising poverty among citizens. There will be a negative impact on the leadership recruitment process, resulting in turn in bad governance. Shapir Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
On crime, National Drug Law Enforcement Agency has foiled attempts by Brazil-based drug cartels to smuggle substantial quantities of cocaine into Nigeria through the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport Abuja and Murtala Mohammed International Airport Lagos. They were said to have concealed the Class A illicit substance in tea bags. The report.
NDLEA Director of Media Advocacy, Femi Babafemi, in a statement issued on Sunday, said at least 4 traffickers involved in the attempts to import and export illicit drugs through the country in the last week are now in the custody of the agency. According to him, one of them is 33-year-old Pascal Ekene Okolo, an indigene of Ihe in Ogu local government area of Enugu State, who claimed to be into wine business in Brazil, but is arrested with traveling bag containing different medicine tea bags, which were used to conceal 4.1 kilograms of cocaine on April 17th. Similarly, Canada-based Nigerian Anigo Christian Godspower was intercepted at the de-arrival of the Earl of MMIA Ikeja during an inward clearance of passengers on Qatar Airways from Sao Paulo via Doha to Lagos. 2 blocks of cocaine with a total weight of 2.10 kilograms were discovered. The bid by another cartel to export 950 grams of heroin concealed in the soles of ladies' footwear through the MMIA cargo shed was equally foiled by anti-narcotic officers who have so far arrested 2 suspects linked to the crime. Those arrested between 16 and 17 in connection with an attempt to export the drug to Monrovia, Liberia, included Idokoja Solomon Chukura and Patrick John Tochukwu. Babafemi also said that the NDLEA operatives in raids in Kano, Kaduna, Benue, and Akwa Ibom State have seized not less than 88,734 doses of tramadol, pentazocine, diazepam, and Sinol. In Kano, Aliyu Usman, 28, was arrested at railway area of the state capital with 47,000 capsules of tramadol, 2,000 capsules of pentazocine injection on Tuesday, April 19th, while Isaminu Usman, 28, was nabbed with 24,710 tramadol tablets at Gadar Tamburawa area of Kano 2 days earlier. In Benue, another dealer, Emeka Eze, was arrested at an NDLEA checkpoint at Adipo, Kwande local government area of the state with 10,000 tramadol capsules and 900 tablets of Sinol, while in Kaduna State, the duo of Raphael Daniel and David Musa were arrested at Mando Park, Kaduna, with 1 kilogram of cocaine on Thursday, April 21st. In Akwa Ibom State, NDLEA operative arrested 2 female drug dealers, Eno Obong Edet, 36, and Osana Esema Opom, 28, with various quantities of Revnol, diazepam, tramadol, and cannabis, while a suspected fake security agent was arrested on Saturday, April 23rd, in Abuja, while moving 23.8 kilogram cannabis from Lagos to Maiduguri, Borno State.
You're watching Trust News Update. Coming up after the break. Promoting African values through culture. Do stay with us.
As the 2023 elections draw near, remember, evil prospers when good men and women only wish for peace, but never take a step to make peaceful elections happen. Are you a father? Are you a mother? What are you saying to your children as elections approach? Have you warned them not to let themselves be used to cause violence? Have you explained to them what the consequences of electoral violence might be? Do your part to make peaceful elections happen. Talk to your children. Protect them from unscrupulous politicians who want to put them in harm's way, while their own children are comfortable at home, within and outside the country. Let's join hands to make 2023 elections peaceful. This message is from the National Orientation Agency, NOAA.
Welcome back and thanks for staying. Let's take a look at some of our top stories. We told you that Northern Elders deny endorsing Saraki Mohammed as Northern Elders Council defends position on consensus. You also heard that bandits abduct mother, daughter on humanitarian service in Kaduna, demand 100 million naira. Moving on to more news, at least 6 members of the Deeper Life Bible Church in Iragbo community in Badagry on Sunday sustained serious degrees of injuries when the building of the church collapsed during a heavy storm while the service was still in progress. Reports say the church building collapsed following heavy rains and storm. One of the members of the church, who is also a victim, Topohonze Tunde, told newsmen that 6 members of the church sustained serious injuries. Confirming the incident, the Bale of the Iragbo community, Toma Agodi, said there was no fatality. National Youth Corps Dance and Drama CDS have held their 2022 Festival of Culture in a bid to remind youths across Nigeria on the importance of culture. The 2022 Festival of Culture had in attendance several dignitaries from across the country. The report.
Festival of Culture is an annual celebration by the National Youth Service Corps members for exchange between artistic and cultural expressions, contributing to the promotion of African values of peace and non-violence. Dances from different ethnic groups were performed by these corps members to remind them of the African culture. Drama was also performed to prompt them on the need to live in peace with one another, as it is a fundamental key to a developed society.
Very beautiful. beautiful performance.
This year's Festival of Culture aims to harness potentials of the youth towards a sustainable national development.
The plan by Power Producing Company of Nigeria to charge consumers of electricity on a daily basis has elicited reactions from Nigerians. In this report, Trust TV's Kabir Lawal spoke with a cross-section of people in Abuja. The report.
Vice Chancellor Abdul Rashid Na'Allah further called on stakeholders in the education sector to put all hands on deck to enable the sector to improve in its activities. Professor Abdul Rashid, who added that it is not just the sole responsibility of just the ASU and the government, but also said everyone has a role to play in curbing the menace of strike in our tertiary institutions.
Well, it's not just ASU, it's just any strike action, whether ASU or SANU or NASU or any organization that feels that it has to embark on a strike. It's just interesting that we have a different color to Nigeria. Strike actions all over the world and legal actions. There are ways that unions express their views and let their employers know their displeasure, especially when they negotiate and that negotiation falls flat.
Abdul Rashid said the collaborative effort of stakeholders and government will pave way for Nigerians to be more patriotic.
Do some mother warning strike for hours, not even a whole day, right? Occasionally some days. But sometimes it may graduate into grievance.
Nigerians have been admonished to improve on their maintenance culture to enable them reap the benefits of corporate social responsibility. The Revival of Islamic Heritage Society made the call at the flag off and foundation laying of a hospital by the Kuwait government at the Gwalaga Jumat Mosque in Bauchi. Adamu Imam completes the story.
The representative of the group, Shekrullah Juma, who initiated the construction of hospital and the Gwalaga Jumat premises, says the project will bring 21st century healthcare to people within and outside the area, especially the less privileged, and call for sustainability.
Our community approach is to properly maintain this big project. It is going to be beneficial to every one of us here in Bauchi.
Malam Misbahu Abdul Qadir is a state representative. He assured of not only maintenance of the structure, but adequate security as well to ensure maximum benefit.
So to maintain this building so that they will increase the number of projects in this state, inshallah. And then it will help to treat our education, that is Muslim and non-Muslim, inshallah, to benefit from it in and outside the state.
In his remark, the state governor, represented at the occasion by the Chief of Staff, Dr. Aminu Gamawa, says government is ready to support any initiative that will attract development to the state activities.
Particularly activities that promote development, social cohesion, and instill values among the people of the state. And I'm happy to say that Bauchi State is one of the most peaceful states in Nigeria, and we cannot explain this peace without the role of our Islamic scholars and our religious leaders, because of the message they preach is a message of peace, and the values they promote are values of peace and peaceful coexistence. Similarly,
Chief Imam of Gwalaga Jumaat Mosque, Malam Ibrahim Idris, pray for peaceful coexistence among Nigerians at all time. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
Away from Nigeria, Sudanese aid group says at least 168 people have been killed in fights between Arabs and non-Arabs in Sudan's war-torn Darfur region. Spokesman of the General Coordination of Refugees and Displaced in Darfur, Adam Regal, said on Sunday that fighting in the Krinik area of West Darfur province had also wounded 98 others. Regal said the clashes first erupted on Thursday with the killing of 2 people by an unknown assailant in Krenik, around 30 kilometers east of Janina, the provincial capital of West Darfur. The clashes later reached Janina, where armed groups attacked wounded people while they were being treated at the city's main hospital. The aid group is accusing government-backed militia, the Janjaweed, of orchestrating the latest attacks. The mainly Arab armed group gained notoriety in the early 2000s of its role in the repression of an ethnic minority rebellion in Darfur. And finally, in sports, Red Bull's Max Verstappen dominated a wet-dry Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix to revive his title hopes as rival Charles Leclerc threw away 3rd place with a costly error. The Ferrari driver was pushing to try to pass Verstappen's teammate Sergio Perez after a late pit stop when he lost control at the Variante Alta Chicane at Imola. Leclerc had to pit for a new front wing and fresh tires and dropped to 9th and could recover only to 6th. The error enabled Verstappen to slash his deficit to Leclerc from 45 points to 27, moving the Dutchman up from 5th in the championship to 2nd. Until Leclerc's mistake, the Ferrari's driver appeared to be heading for a frustrating but acceptable 3rd place. But in an instant, he threw away a significant part of the advantage he had gained thanks to Red Bull's poor early season reliability. With this, we've come to the end of Trust News Update. Don't forget to follow us across all our social media platforms. I'm Dashan Husseina Usman. Thanks for watching.